record.
We are back on the record at 12:47.
Mr. Levy, have you ever been abducted by aliens?
I'm not going to answer that question, sir.
Did you ever tell Miss Terrio and or Mr. Mendez that you'd been abducted by aliens?
No.
But you're not going to answer whether you've ever been abducted by aliens?
I am going to answer to the second question, which is I never tell them that.
You never told them
No.
that? But you will not answer the first question, which is whether you've been abducted by aliens.
That's irrelevant, sir. You asked me if I told them.
The
and I said no.
determination of whether it's irrelevant or not will be by the arbitrator, not by you or me.
Oh, yeah.
So are you refusing to answer that question?
Well, since why don't you let your friend decide, the arbitrator?
My friend, the arbitrator?
Your friend, yes.
Why is he my friend?
I don't know. I'm not going to go furthermore.
But you're certain that you never told either Miss, let's do it individually, you never told Miss Terrio that you were abducted by aliens?
You asked me that question already.
The answer is no.
Yes, sir.
And you never told Mr. Mendez you were abducted by aliens?
The answer, I give it
And
to you.
you never told them that you were taken to the fourth dimension?
Sir,
You
I
never
already
told
told you the answer, no.
Okay. I want to mark the question about whether he was ever abducted by aliens, which he won't respond to. Okay, let's talk. You have this conversation with the archaeologists at Mr. Vicente's inaugural party. That would have occurred approximately in what, early 1970, early 2000.
Was 2000.
Approximately 2000, 2001, correct?
That was, yes, sir.
Okay. What do you, at that point, you hear that there is some archaeological material regarding the Mayans that you're interested in. What's the next thing you do?
I asked Vicente folks at the inauguration at that dinner party, and I said, those two, they have a quite interesting, intriguing.
Know what you did.
Well,
But and he told you don't pick up the dust and all that.
just let it go, and then
Let it go. Okay.
and then me and Fidel Castro had a conversation for 4 hours, and David Perman wanted to get all the translation between me and Fidel Castro, and I said, we're talking about Mayans and this fantastic civilization, and that was it. That was the end of.
Then when's the next time that you had the idea or did anything related to a documentary about Mayans?
It never stopped. I was doing research, working on investigating, all that related to the Mayan.
And the writing of the book about the Mayan tunnels, when did that occur again?
That happened like 8 years ago, if I recollect.
8 years ago.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure.
All right. Did you attempt to have the documentary made during that period of time, let's say between when you went to Vicente's inauguration and when you entered into a deal in approximately September of 2011 with A&E? Did you attempt to get other people to make the documentary? What did you do?
Did I intend other people?
Did you deal with other people in order to get the documentary made? You said you did research. What else
Sure.
did you do during that period?
Oh, during that period, I investigating, talking to, just investigating mainly the history of the Mayans, reading about it, going through books and books and books, talking to people, villagers, that nature, talking to Mayans, the Mayan elders.
When did you first talk to Mayan elders?
For the past 10 years, I've been communicating with different groups, and we talk about, what was their belief, what do they know from their ancestors, and so forth.
Did you ever write a script for a documentary?
Yes, we wrote a script.
When did you write a script?
That was like 4 months ago, prior to leave to shoot. I wrote it with Ed Elber and Sheila McCartney. I wanted to have a documentary in place for. You don't have a script, you mean?
A script?
Yeah. Well, you don't have scripts and documentaries there. You know, you just outline the scenes and how you're going to shoot the sequence and everything. I did.
You prepared?
Yes.
Was that the first outline you'd prepared for the making of the documentary?
No, we had outlines before with A&E, because A&E required that, to put everything on an outline. So.
All right. So sometime after September 11th, sometime after September 2011, you prepared an outline for A&E. Is that correct?
Yes.
Which you turned into A&E, I assume.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Prior to preparing that outline for A&E, had you prepared an outline for the documentary prior to that?
Yes, that was the same outline we had for, we used for A&E. We had a brief description of what we wanted to do,
Maybe you're not understanding what I'm saying. I know you turned in an outline to A&E. Is the outline you turned into A&E an outline which was prepared before you went to A&E, or was it something that was prepared for A&E?
It was not prepared for A&E. We prepared a different one for A&E.
Okay. When is the first time you prepared an outline?
Well, when A&E said, I need some description over, the project, and you write an outline, and Ed Elber and I, work on the outline.
Okay. So the first time you ever wrote an outline for the documentary was when A&E requested an outline. All right. Prior to trying to get A&E to make the documentary, did you have a deal with any other entity to produce the documentary from the time you left Mr. Vicenti's inauguration ball to the time you entered into a deal with A&E? No. Okay. Your deal with A&E, and I'm going to summarize it. There's a contract, and obviously we can all read the contract, and that will be the best evidence.
And we own the money still.
Okay. Well, okay, but what I just want to understand is, your understanding was that you and Ed Elbert were given a certain amount of money, $25,000, which you two were going to split, I assume.
No. Split? That is absolutely not true.
Okay. Well then, tell me what was going to happen? Who was going to get the $25,000?
I was going to go to Guatemala and Mexico in preparation of the film to talk to the authorities, talk to archaeologists. A&E require to have a full report from the archaeologists. They said, Molly Thompson, the president of A&E, says to me, Raul, I want a full report of the archaeologists and about their findings and what they believe based on their knowledge and experience and the studies of the artifacts. And artifacts, murals, anything. I said, okay. So I prepared. I wasn't.
Okay, no, but the question was, they gave you $25,000.
That was the money I used for the development of the project.
Okay.
To get
for traveling to
and getting everything ready for the project, sir.
Okay. And
that was not for me to explain with anybody.
Okay. No. Okay. So you got $25,000 to develop the project.
Yes.
And then you prepared an outline for them, and then you got reports back from the archaeologists as they requested. Correct. Yeah. And then A&E decided to pass on the project.
No.
No?
No.
Well, they didn't make the project, so what happened?
It was the Mexican government who took the project from A&E. So, let's make that clear.
The Mexican government?
The Mexican government took the project away from them.
From A&E?
Yes, sir.
They told A&E that they couldn't make it?
No, that's not what they said to A&E. They said, you're taking too long. And I was getting a lot of pressure from the archaeologists. I was getting a lot of pressure principally from the government and the Calakmul director, which is, Carrasco. And our plans was to introduce this documentary at the end of the year, December 21st, for the world to see it.